Hey folks, and welcome to part 6 of our Let's Play Shattered series. In the last episode we killed the first big boss, which was Samsara. It was a pretty cool fight actually, reminiscent of World of Warcraft bosses. If you've ever seen or done some World of Warcraft raids, you would know that most bosses have kind of cool mechanics that you need to react to and play in a certain way. And it also mixed the classic Souls-like experience into it. Overall, it was a pretty cool fight. And it seemed that we triggered some changes in the world, according to the Crucible lady, forgot her name. And we unlocked this area, the Imbolt. After that, during last episode, I decided not to quit here because I did not see this checkpoint. But now that I've decided to progress through the zone, I noticed it, as well as this guy over here. We've met him before, in the temple to be precise. Raven. And he does not have much to trade. Very cool design on him. I did mention at the end of last video that I'm not sure where we're supposed to go next, whether we need to keep going this way or if we need to go back to the ancient lands, because all the guidance that we got was Yak telling us that Nefer Temple was a good starting zone after we got to the ancient lands the first time. But my intuition is, since this area is connected to Nefer Temple, then it should be a logical next sequence. So we'll see how the enemies react and work in this level. They seem fairly weak. 4 hits, almost 3 in fact, to kill this guy. So we should be in a decent state. Same model as the enemies from before, just a different texture. In classical RPG games, they do that to signify that this enemy is just it's the same behavior, more or less, as the enemy before it, just with an increase in stats. So it seems that this area is heavy on the greenery, which is in stark contrast to the previous temple, which was very structure like, I guess. So spotting items in this area might be a bit more difficult. There's an invisible wall here. Nothing we can do. Oh! There's an item on the tree. You can't make this jump. Okay. Stabilized essence. The signature of this game so far has been to give us nothing but essence, as well as life fragments. So there's a ranged guy on the left. Let's get rid of him first. And of course they do that extremely long range disengage. So the first time I fought this guy, I believe it's the same enemy, I made the mistake of getting way too greedy with my stamina, and I didn't have enough stamina to dodge away, and that's why I got hit. Did not expect him to be as tanky as he actually is. It seems there is a lore piece over there. Nope. Doesn't seem like you can make the jump from this tree. There's probably another path to come back to it. So let's see what's on this side. I love the way the flowers react to us walking through them. Explodey guy down on the ground floor, and a ranged guy up on the stairs, so we'll get rid of... Not even range, he's a grenade launcher. These enemies definitely seem tankier than their previous iteration. The previous iteration, I think we were able to kill them with 4, maybe 5 hits. So we didn't have to disengage, we could just hammer at them and they would die. I don't see a way to go up. This area is very foggy. Might be easy to miss certain things. It's a long tree. One thing I would love to see the developers address, maybe via patch, is to make the enemies a little bit more resistant to flinching, because right now there's a very basic strategy to every enemy, and that is just hit your hits, save just a little bit of stamina to dodge backwards. The enemies will attack immediately with their attack. You wait for your stamina to regen, you go in, you kill them. The only enemies that we were not able to do this strategy with were the big guys in the temple, because that kind of charge away from a distance, and one of them ended up getting stuck on the ledge, as well as, of course, the bosses. Speaking of that enemy, it's that exact one, except that it had colors and not just black and white. There are enemies right behind me on the ledge, so I would rather get rid of those before I fight this guy. Perfect. Get ourselves an Ebonite. Whoa, 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 whoa. And one thing to mention is that we no longer need Graceful Hardenite to upgrade our current weapon. It might be a good idea to use the Hardenite and Graceful Hardenite to upgrade another weapon, just to make sure that we have options and not just rely on one weapon one weapon only. There's that guy up there. I'm not sure if he is ranged or not. As far as I can see, there's no way to get to him. Oh, you can actually just jump this. Lovely. Yeah, there is no way to get to that other side. So what we'll do is that we'll try to lure this guy away from him. And we got ourselves a backstab. The backstab angles are still a mystery to me. Very similar to Code Vein, if you've ever played it. Another Souls-like. Pretty good game. But the backstab angles in it, at least in that one, it was consistent after a while. Where basically you had to angle yourself slightly to the right. In here, maybe we'll figure it out as we go on, but currently it is a mystery. So if you remember, in the temple there was a roof just like this one that we slid off of. But in here it seems that we can just walk on it. Another dead wanderer with a mask and a shard. Can probably jump to this item as well. Going over here. Alright, I'm not gonna deal with... I didn't even see him. Whoop. Let's hope one of them follows me. Perfect. Did the other guy follow me? No. So another shameless plug to Neo. Oh nice, we got an upgrade on the flask. Another shameless plug to Neo, because it's really one of my favorite games of all time, or Neo 2 in specific. But in those games, a really interesting thing they do is how they introduce enemies and how they ramp up the difficulty. And it's something you don't really notice at first until you play the game quite a bit. And play other games as well. In that game, what they do is that they introduce a new enemy, and they introduce it by itself in an isolated scenario. It's basically the game telling you, hey, this is a new enemy, these are the movesets, this is how you fight them. Cool, now that you got the hang of it, what we're going to do is that we're going to add more and more scenarios and complicate this enemy. And bit by bit, you master the enemies. But then you progress through the game. And what they do is they add just one extra moveset to the enemy. Sometimes they add two. And what it does is that it messes up the pattern. You're used to a certain pattern, and then all of a sudden you need to modify it. And in that way, even though the enemy is the same, and in fact even though the enemy looks exactly the same, and not just a skeleton and a model with different texture, like this game. The enemies will behave differently. And here what we see is that they have different textures, but that means absolutely nothing. Because they behave the same, the strategy that you fight them with is exactly the same. And in fact, the strategy you fight any enemy is the same. So unfortunately, there is no depth in this game. It's, so far from what I've seen at least, it's just more of the same. And I don't, I'm not trying to compare an indie game with a AAA game, because obviously Neo 2 has more designers, more animators, more programmers, so they can produce more enemies and more behaviors. But if you were just to add one attack, maybe reduce the time that they idle through in between attacks, all of a sudden the way you tackle these enemies would change drastically. Alright. So we need to get to that little switch, I guess we can call it. And it seems that there is a tree between this ledge and it. So we're gonna make our way there. Seems like this is a new area. So before we head to it, and the platforming sections, I think, are really fun. I kinda grew up playing a lot of platformers. Ooh. So platforming is always a plus for me. These enemies love to get stuck. I don't think it's worth it, because it's very difficult to get a good angle on them. But they do get stuck way too often. Cool, so okay, so that's what these circles mean. Every lit one is a switch that we need to turn off. Makes sense now. Did we come over here? There's an item at the end of this place. As well as a switch. Okay. a superior hardenite, which I believe is what we need to get our weapon to level 5. And if we drop down here, there is no way to come back up. At least not right away. So we're gonna commit. There is that lore piece from the first zone that we might need to go back to. Graceful Hardenite. I feel like we have more Graceful Hardenites than we do Hardenites. I definitely played the previous zone badly, and I'm kind of low on healing potions. Right as I say that, I get hit once again. So what we'll do is that we'll I don't need this. So what I'll do is I'll put a potion in here in case we get desperate. We only have 3 of these, so we don't want to go too crazy with them. I think we aggroed this guy. Let's just lure him away from the other 2 because we don't want the fight to get messy. One thing I would love to see is if these explosions actually worked in a more complex way. So right now they, you kill them, they explode, and if you're close enough they hurt you. And that's it. What would be awesome is if you could use that to attack enemies. So, right now, if it actually hit the sword guy, would have been a cool little interaction. And in the previous boss fight, Samsara, if that was a bit tied to the mechanics, it would have been awesome. Okay. Whoa. That was a long range. A few shrubs have withered. Okay, whatever. We did lose some essence, but I'm not too heartbroken about it because, if anything, we're actually overleveled for the content that we're in. So since we're back here anyway, I might as well try to get that lore piece that we missed. It was back this way. Interestingly enough, you can actually drop here, so let's do it. There's nothing. There's nothing. Alright, well, we might as well just kill ourselves. Right, overly attached yuck. And before we end up using one of these consumables, let's switch back to the flask. That did not just happen. I backstabbed him, and right as he was getting up, I backstabbed him again. That should not happen. That definitely should not happen. A good rule of thumbs is to give half a second of control to either the AI or the player before they can be CC'd again. One of the issues in the earlier Souls games, and especially Demon Souls, is that you could actually be chain CC'd. So you get hit once, and that's it. The I think they were called Mind Flayers and the Tower of whatever. What they could do was, they had this attack that would knock you down, and while you're knocked down, they can start charging the attack again, and the moment you get back up, you get hit by it, and you get knocked down again. And regardless of how you want to approach the difficulty in the game, that shouldn't happen. Because if you do want, one mistake to straight up kill the player, then you might as well just kill the player. There's no reason to make them wait, basically. And it just adds more to the frustration. In this game, it's actually the opposite. At least so far, where I knock down the enemy, and while the enemy's getting back up, I managed to knock it down again. Definitely not as problematic this way, because the player is the main focus of the game, obviously. But it can still be an issue. Right, so that is the lore piece, and I think there's another one up there. Not entirely sure how we can get to it. There's an item down there. The reason I left this area earlier on is because I thought that we would come back to it through a different angle. I didn't think that we would go to different zones. Oh. Probably should have taken the stairs down, because that seems to be a shortcut. So we'll just run past these enemies because there's no reason to re-kill them. Love getting stuck on geometry. Okay. Last time we actually couldn't fall down. Interesting that we could this time. I doubt this game would grow enough to have a speedrunning community, but I feel like you can definitely break a lot of entries. For example, I would love to see more of this. It's mundane and trivial on this specific example, but it's fun. For example, right before getting to the Ancient Lands, there was this fairly long platforming section. And even though it was in 2.5D, it was fun. There were some frustrating parts about it. And I believe they were a result of the camera choice, as well as the art style choice. But still, it's one of the main differences between this game and other Souls-like games. So I would love to see the devs play to that strength. For example, I never played Hollow Knight, but I do know that it's a mix of Metroidvania as well as Souls-like genre. I watched some friends play it, and one of the cool things that the game does is put a lot more focus on platforming, because it's one of the big elements of the game. The mechanics are there, so why not use that? I'm almost convinced that this is how we get up there. Almost. No. Wait, let's kill this guy because he's making me nervous. Not the most fun thing to watch, I know. Not the most fun thing to do either. Please. I know you can do it. You did it already. No. How on earth do you get up there? I don't think this is the way to go. Definitely doesn't seem quote-unquote official. But, my god, can I please see what's up there? Oh, okay. Okay. So we had to aim for this little small edge. Again, I don't think that is the official way to get up there. Or up here, rather. But, hey, it works. And this is our friend, Stay. You know, I feel like she's French. Let's give her a French accent. Hello, you're the mute one, right? Since we last met, the wind has been the one to listen to my stories. It makes for a sweet and calm audience. But I always end up missing a bit more of an attentive consciousness. Could you fill that role? I appreciate it very much. Oh, I knew she was French. Oh, how did I guess? J'ai en tête deux histoires, celle de Manta et Morty. I have two stories. Those of something and death? Life, maybe, and death? My French is not the best. One finger for mantra. Sure, two. Are we joining a gang here? Let's give her a mantra. Mantra was created at dawn, long before the First War. I don't want to continue the French accent because I think I was becoming borderline racist with it. He was a miracle birthed out of a nascent technology, and the Five treated him like a prodigal son. I do wonder if that was actually another lost in or not lost in translation, but rather lost without translation, because we did have one incident before where a little notification came up and it told us that a door was opened in French. So this might also be the case. Treated like a prodigal son, eventually turning him into a master of both mind and arms in just a few cycles. He was the first Archon and headed the Praetorian Guard. The first Astir were happy for quite a long time. Eventually, however, came the Meteors, the ones from elsewhere, and the war. Do you know about all this, my silent friend? We kinda do. We did learn that there was a calamity or something, and it killed everything after Hypnos created it. We did not know the details of it. They wiped us out. Yep, we know that much. The Five and the King were spared under divine protection, that of the Guard and of Mantra. He found himself the last survivor of the first generation. Thousands died by his hands as he stood immovable before the gates of Narayana, his rage echoing through the endless nights of red. Finally, when the sprawling piles of bodies had poured their blackened blood all over the land, and he could no longer tell the corpses of his enemies from those he once loved, his mad dance came to an end. The heavy breath of the dying day dried his tainted skin. The ash glistened in the golden light. Silence was his only companion. As the Five went to work rebuilding civilization and creating a more durable second generation, Mantra kept on living as the last embodiment of our lost ancestors. The Archon had become an autarch, not sure what that means, and given his voice to the void. His speech was sealed and his memory locked away. He remained with the king and created the elite Mantrian order, foreseeing a new invasion. He remained loyal to the king to the very end. But that is another story. What becomes of a whole species' last soul? What could one hope to experience when they have outlived all of their peers and loved ones? Is that why you never speak, dear silent soul? What tragic memories lay hidden behind your mask? We can either nod or tilt our head and leave. It is interesting because every other wanderer that we've come across has been dead with the two items next to them, and the only living wanderer that we've seen was the stranger that we ended up killing. And it seemed, I'm not even sure if it was actually a wanderer or more like a phantom kind of thing. So maybe the story's trying to tell us our origin here in a very indirect manner. Let's nod. I'm not sure that would be advisable. What, nodding? Remember the story I told you, and the rest shall come in time. See you later, wanderer. Can we hear about... No. Interesting that you can only learn about one of the stories, either Mantra or Morty, not both. Let's unlock this lore. When the network opened, while the infinity of data from the prior future was flowing, something got in. We don't have the names for those entities, those ghosts roaming in the ocean of information. Some are harmless, faint, and mute shadows who seem to have no goal. Others are predatory and hunt the living. I'm scared of connecting to the Agora now, and scared of sleeping with my neural key on. One night, I met one of them. He spoke with rails and croaky whispers through his skeletal mask. He told me he came from a far and primitive time, from a misty city where his spears heaped up an open air cesspit of famine and disease. He spoke of a violent and unequal world, a future without knowledge or wisdom, barbaric and hopeless. He was himself a destitute, led by morbid instincts to commit horrific acts. He was a killer, and his victims, my god, he was stealing their faces, double space on there. He said he was a dreamer, capable of taking a monstrous astral form to torture the minds of others during his sleep. He was hanged for his crimes. How such a creature could find itself here in our days, I, double space, cannot understand. We have opened a breach, a gate to nameless times. Phantoms and monsters get through sometimes, coming to show what the future will look like without us. I have to fight, as an S-tier citizen, to prevent this horrible world from happening. Above all, we must cease observing the abyss of impious knowledge stagnating in the depths. He spared me, and I'll never know why. These faces, these expressions of fear and suffering hanging at his side like covered rags. I know them. Stay away from the Raven. Right. Raven is that guy that we could trade some things to. And he really caught my attention because he's the only NPC that doesn't tell us anything. We can only trade with him. Let's drop down here because I believe there was another lore. Oh, hi there. I didn't think you would aggro. That's a new attack. Okay, I messed up there. Oh no. I got way too greedy. Oh, we're back here. Okay. Let's see if there is a shorter run. Just a second. Oh, you can't pause in this game. Okay. Let's see, we're trying to get over there, I believe. Oh, right. Oh, there's a chest. I don't think we opened it. Okay, and that attack, I need to get used to it. They drop Tetrarch's mask. Find hard. No, we did come over here. Right, we did. That was actually the lore item that we just read. So what I'll do is that I'll unlock the shortcut here. And try to get back to where we were. If that is an option. Yep. We'll go up the stairs, because I don't think we ever did. There are those two items over there. I don't really know how to get to them. But it seems like from where we were around the lore stone, maybe you could jump up there somehow. Okay, and this is one of the doors that we actually unlocked. So what we can do, or what we need to do, is unlock that last switch, which I believe was this way. Hello. We cannot jump over here. Yep. I think it was down here. Drop down and try to aggro one enemy at a time. Would you please just move? Man, they are passive. Oh. Well, guess we're gonna see what this skill does. Did it increase our damage? If it did, then... Oh, right. If it did, then I feel like it's... very minimal. It does last a long time. Oh, there's a chest here that we never opened, because we died to this guy last time. I hate this attack. So it seems like we need to save enough stamina for 2 dodges, not just 1. Against this enemy. Superior Hardenite, and we need to get over there somehow. Let's drop down here. There's actually stairs to go back up, just in case this is not the way, but I feel like it is the way. And there's an item over there. You need to kill one of these guys. And I really find them annoying just because they take so long to kill. No. I feel like in other Souls-like games, these enemies wouldn't be as troublesome to me, because I would treat them like they're meant to be treated, and you know, with baiting an attack and then going in. But in this game, come on, man. In this game, enemies flinch so much that it's kind of difficult to change your mindset around them. So you definitely have to come at him through an angle. I got greedy, and now the tree's in my way. It's very hard tonight, and I'll just use a potion manually. It actually gives back more HP than I thought it would. So that attack also... Oh, you can't keep slashing away at him, because that attack is preceded by a dodge. And I feel like these big potions don't regen as much HP as I thought they would. Are we moving away from the switch? I feel like we are. Oh no, please don't aggro, please don't aggro, please don't aggro. You gotta be kidding me. We managed to land an attack somewhere in there. Okay, this is taking way too long to get to that switch. Very foggy in here. Very, very foggy. Can you even get up there? Ooh. Oh, there you are. I was looking for you. Well, don't have a lot of potions left, so I'm hoping that we can get to the switch soon. Catalyst charge. Oh, it seems like we did unlock a shortcut, at least. And while we're here, we might as well just reset. The enemies will respawn, which is annoying, but hey. I'd rather get the 7 charges back. So this guy's evil. This guy's Raven. Told us to stay away from him. I kind of want to try attacking him the next time we see him. See if that actually triggers anything. So it seems that there are 2 enemies in here. This guy. And that guy is orange. So far they've been blue. So I wonder if he's stronger. Seems like it doesn't really matter if he's stronger, because they just flinch. And then he just does the slowest swipe ever. More fog. Can we climb up? No, we can't climb the tree, but we can walk through it. Fantastic. We can also walk through this tree. What is the point of this area? Now, where on earth is the switch? Let's take the shortcut back, because you can sort of see better. I don't know how they handle the fog in this game. But it seems like when you're inside the foggy area, you get the full effect. When you're outside of it, it's very partial. Let's try to backtrack a bit. Oh no, yeah, I grabbed 2 of them. It's not there, I don't think, but there is a tree trunk. Or a fallen trunk that... What did I get stuck on? Oh. There's a small tree root. But yeah, there's a tree trunk that acts as a bridge. So my initial thought was, hey, we can maybe go there. And make our way to the switch. Seems like that's not the case, though. But I mean, the shortcut was that way, so it wouldn't make sense to come back here. Radiant ether fragment. We get up these stairs? The guy's red. I think this is where we came from, right? And then we drop down some more. Nice of you to let me kill your friend while you watch. I am so lost right now. There's an item over there. And this is the shortcut area. Where on earth was the switch? I think it was this way. Yes. Let's see if we can cheese the geometry. And we can. I have no idea if this is intended. But you know what? I'll take it. This should be the last one to open the door. Perfect. I'll unlock this shortcut, and instead of backtracking, what I'll do is that I'll just jump off the edge and die, because that would spawn me back at the checkpoint next to the door, as well as not take my essence away from me. And we are next to Raven. I do want to try attacking him. Okay, nothing happens. Nothing happens. The door's this way, I believe. Yep. Abandoned Bastion. That definitely seems like a boss arena. This area is beautiful. Reminds me quite a bit of Nier Automata. Are we gonna fight that guy? Because this is a massive arena. It's the stranger again. Okay, that was a lot of damage. It seems like this fight will happen more than once. Kind of like a reoccurring enemy. Seems like he has more attacks up his sleeve. Should be one hit away from that. Yep. Awesome. And we get stolen essence, as well as a key. So this thing looks like a demiurge. No, you can actually keep going this way, maybe. Yep. I wonder what the key's for, because I don't remember facing a door. Interestingly enough, this takes us back to the ancient lands. So does this mean that we're done with this whole temple area? Interestingly enough, we were at Nefer Temple, which is all the way to the south, and it kind of spit us back out at Radamont's temple. I forgot to check what key we got. Great key of the portal. The arc enclosing the center of the ancient lands was designed to welcome and impress visitors on the road to the capital. Since the dark times, its heavy panels are definitely sealed. Key or entity is artifact or program. Seals or opens the entrance. Glory or submission to the king or god. So awesome. So does that mean we need to collect keys from every temple and use them at the center portal? Graceful essence, leading us right outside the temple. So where do we go now? Do we just go at Ramont's temple? And it should be this one, right? Yep. We were never really told where to go next. I'm just guessing because the game does spit us right next to it. This doesn't seem to be the way. Is this the way? What is with this super intense music? We already killed the stranger. This music is for the stranger's fight. What is that? We definitely need to take maybe one episode to just discover what's in the ancient lands, because it's massive. It is absolutely massive. And we've been beelining basically from one spot to another. But I would rather finish this temple first if we can. And for this episode, what I'm trying to do is just get to the temple and just quit at the checkpoint, because we are we've been playing for quite a bit. I'm not sure if this is the correct path. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that it's not. we are at the temple. Where's... oh, it's this thing. Well, let's see if we can wrap around. Nope. Come on. I did it the first time and now I can't do it again. Awesome. There we go. Can I jump here? Nope. That even looks unfinished. There are enemies in there, but the textures look completely unfinished. I don't think this is the way. Let's see if maybe we can get to it through here. Whoa, 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 whoa. There's a bridge. What is this thing? Oh! Don't mind if I do? Wait, no. Wait, no. That's not where I expected to go. Okay, so it's kind of a shortcut, actually. And we haven't unlocked the others. Oops. Mount it, please. This mount is very difficult to control. It drifts like crazy. This is the area that I thought looked unfinished. I wonder how it looks like when you get closer. It doesn't look any better. So far I've been loving the art style of this game, but this doesn't fit. This is extremely shady. How are they not noticing that I'm here? Assuming this is nothing graceful and refined. Ardenite. Right, I guess we'll just climb up the stairs and see what's at the top of them, which hopefully is the next temple. And apparently you can get stuck on geometry on the stairs. Awesome. Again, this game lacks quite a bit of polish. This should be a portal to the temple. Cardinal Nexus. Wait. Wasn't that the boss area? Like the first mini boss that we fought. Wasn't that what it's called? Yeah. Yeah. Seems like it's another one of those. So, we are at the 75-minute mark. Next episode, we'll kill this guy and hopefully get a clue on where to go next, because I am completely lost, to be honest with you. But either way, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.